Black Moon Lilith is the point of shame and rejection in our chart. And so if any planets or other points are conjunct Black Moon Lilith, that is going to become a part of yourself you feel that if you embrace, you're going to be rejected for. So in short, having any planets conjunct Black Moon Lilith is massive. So in this video, I want to break down what it means to have each planet and point in your chart conjunct Black Moon Lilith or in the same sign as Black Moon Lilith and what that means. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabel, and today I want to talk about Black Moon Lilith conjunct and in the same sign as other planets, because I did a reading yesterday with someone whose moon was conjunct their Black Moon Lilith, and it was kind of cool because I actually didn't have Black Moon Lilith pulled for this reading, but talking to him, I realized he had to have this placement. So I pulled it up, and what do you know? His Black Moon Lilith was conjunct his moon. So I want to break down what it means to have each planet and point in your birth chart conjunct Black Moon Lilith and what that means. Really quick, I wanted to take the opportunity to cover how you can find Black Moon Lilith in your chart. Black Moon Lilith will be in your chart with this symbol, or this symbol. I don't know which side I'm going to have it pop up on, but this symbol. It's a black moon with a little cross underneath it. You can find it in your chart. Not every birth chart forum pulls Black Moon Lilith automatically. I know Cafe Astrology does. Astro.com you can using the extended chart selection, but if you pull a basic chart, it will not have Black Moon Lilith. If you've ever read a birth chart before, all you have to do, and you probably know this, is to look at what sign the Black Moon Lilith symbol is fixed into. You can go a step further in knowing what degree Black Moon Lilith is in, and this will be how you know if there's an exact conjunction. Simply, you'll know if another planet is conjunct Black Moon Lilith is if you look at that symbol in your chart, if you find it, and there's other planetary symbols there. For example, in this example, you can see that the moon and Black Moon Lilith are pretty much stacked right on top of each other. You can also just look if there's any other planets in the same sign, and I personally think that there will be an effect on this. But if they're in different houses, if you use the Placidus system like I do, which means that the houses don't always start at the very first degree of each zodiac sign, it's possible that the effects won't be as strong, but regardless, there's going to be some shame around that zodiac sign, and if you have any other planets there, there could be a shame or fear of rejection associated with that part of yourself. So as a quick recap over Black Moon Lilith, what is the Black Moon Lilith? Black Moon Lilith got its name from the story of how Adam's first original mate or wife was Lilith. She was very powerful, very independent, and I'm really summarizing this story really fast, so please don't come at me if any of it is necessarily incorrect. But point is, she was very powerful, independent, and too much for Adam. So they threw her out and replaced her with Eve, who's much more passive and stereotypically feminine. So Black Moon Lilith is a point in our chart, the dark side of the moon, so to say, that represents the part of ourselves that we feel deep shame or fear of embracing because it will lead to our rejection. Usually, we have an experience in early childhood, either with parents or some form of authority figure or society that makes us feel like we cannot embrace this part of ourselves or else it will lead to our rejection. And this is all based on the sign that your Black Moon Lilith is in. That'll show you what the characteristics are that you feel afraid of embracing, but are a place of power. And the house it's in is where in your life you feel you can't embrace this. So both parts are equally important to know. For example, my Black Moon Lilith is in Gemini, fear of seeming curious, social, chatty, asking a lot of questions, being welcoming and friendly, but specifically in my 7th house. So it's in my relationships, I hate being or feel rejected, feel like I'm going to be rejected for being sociable, chatty, curious, asking questions. And let me tell you, that is still a theme that comes up to this day. But I also have planets in the same sign of Gemini as well. And this gives me a lot of indication into what parts of myself I feel shame for. So to understand the concept too, before I dive into each different planet and point and what that means for it to be conjunct Black Moon Lilith, I kind of want to just cover the concept because this will help you understand what exactly this means. If you're pulling a chart, whether it's your own, or someone else's, and you see that there's a planet conjunct or in the same sign as Black Moon Lilith, it's important to remember the simple following. 1, what Black Moon Lilith is, which we already covered. It's our shame, our power, what we feel we're going to be rejected for, a place of childhood healing, inner healing to work through. Each planet in our chart represents a different aspect of our personality. The sun is our ego, the moon is our emotion, our rising is our appearance. These are different aspects of our being. And so whatever sign that part of our being is in is how we will express that. People have different expressions of the ego, different expression of emotion. And so to understand that core foundation has really helped me understand what it means to have Black Moon Lilith conjunct different planets. And so I wanted to bring that up as a reminder before I dive in and give you all the data to remember the basic foundation, because if you're going to go and interpret this for yourself in the end and contemplate on your own, it's important to remember the foundation. So without further ado, without further spiel, let's dive into what it means to have Black Moon Lilith conjunct some of the major planets and points in your chart. If your Black Moon Lilith is conjunct your sun or in the same sign as your sun in your chart, the sun is our vitality. And what this means is that you're going to feel fear of shame or rejection, or fear, shame, or rejection for your vitality. You probably are someone who's generally insecure about this aspect of yourself. It's important to note whatever house it's in, because this will tell you where this part of your personality shows up. If it's your 4th house, you'll feel like you can't be this core vital self that ensures your confidence with your family. Looking to the house will tell you where this shows up, but generally those with the Black Moon Lilith in the same sign or conjunct their sun means that you feel shame for your vitality. You feel shame for confidence. You're probably shut down for your confidence. And whatever sign it's in is going to tell you what gives you that confidence, what your ego is. We all have an ego. It's just that when we embrace that healthily, it becomes confidence and vitality. And when it's not embraced healthily, it becomes insecurity or becoming stereotypically egotistical. People with a Black Moon Lilith conjunct their sun can also really struggle with having a physical sense of energy and vitality. They feel that they were shut down at some point in their childhood for having strong energy or a lot of strength, just a lot of power in them. And so this plays out in the physical and emotional. So maybe it was physical vitality you were shut down for or rejected for, or maybe it's an emotional energy, a confidence, a persona. If your Black Moon Lilith is conjunct or in the same sign as your moon, you feel that you're going to be rejected or abandoned for expressing your emotion. Whatever sign your moon is in will tell you specifically the negative emotion you feel you will be rejected for embracing. For example, the most recent reading I did, he had his Black Moon Lilith conjunct his moon in Aries, and he knows for a fact that anger is an emotion that he was not allowed to express in childhood and struggles with to this day. Regardless, whatever sign your moon is in, you're going to feel that you cannot express or feel emotion. You're probably going to shut down emotionally, and emotional conversations will be harder for you because you were taught that to express, embrace emotion is negative. Looking to the sign can give you really big indication into what emotions you specifically feel shame for, as well as what you need for emotional fulfillment. Emotionally fulfilling yourself is something you're going to feel like you're going to get rejected for. Again, looking at the sign and the house is important. So making sure that you check what house it's in will tell you where this will show up in your life the most. If your Black Moon Lilith is conjunct your rising, which means it's anywhere in the 1st house, but specifically if it's close to the AC line, but not on the northern hemisphere of the line, so to say, because then that would be in the 12th house. If it's conjunct the ascendant or in the 1st house, generally, you're going to feel a sense of shame for your identity, a sense of shame for your strength in your sense of self. The ascendant is all about our identity, our appearance, how people see us. And so you may have been taught or had an experience at some point in childhood that told you to be so strong in your sense of identity is to be conceited, is to be selfish, is to be egotistical to some degree. Very similar to having this Black Moon Lilith conjunct your sun. But with the rising, this is all about your identity, your self-appearance. You were probably told at some point in your childhood that you are too wrapped up in your appearance, and now to have any sense of self-identity or independence is negative. So you generally probably lean towards 7th house themes of partnership and listening to other people. Regardless, this is your place of power though. So looking at the sign it's in will tell you what kind of persona you should step into and embrace in order to find your power. If your Black Moon Lilith is conjunct or in the same sign as your Mercury, you feel shame for your communication style and your learning style. Probably, my guess with this placement is that specifically in your education as a child, somewhere in school, you're taught that the way you learn is wrong. And looking at the sign it's in will tell you what exactly your learning style was that you got shut down for. It could also be that you were usually, so your Mercury tells you what your communication style is as well, not just your learning style. So it's possible that these people too, who have their Black Moon Lilith conjunct their Mercury, have a natural way of communicating in which they were shut down for or rejected for in childhood, whether that was with their parents, a partner, or not a partner, parents, some sort of authority figure in your life. Again, this is a place of power. It's good for us to embrace it. Looking at the house it's in will tell you exactly where this showed up in your life, who you were maybe communicating with specifically, and how you best communicate or where you can do your best communication work. Regardless, Black Moon Lilith feels ashamed for the way they speak, the way they learn, the way they communicate, and they're taught that their words will never be good enough, even though they have a skill set to embrace with their communication style based off of the sign their Black Moon Lilith and Mercury are in. If your Black Moon Lilith and Venus are in the same sign, it means that you feel shame for the way you feel loved. So I think this is a really big one to note if you are specifically a woman, because Venus is our feminine energy. And having Black Moon Lilith conjunct or in the same sign as Venus means you're going to naturally feel shame for the way you express feminine energy. It is still a big factor for men as well. However, I would say just bigger for women, considering the fact that it is the planet of femininity. Femininity? I feel like that word is correct, but it doesn't sound right. Point is, having Black Moon Lilith and Venus in the same sign means that you feel that you're going to be rejected for the way you want to receive love. Venus is also our planet of values and worth, and so whatever makes you feel like you live a luxurious life is going to be something you reject, a part of yourself you reject. And so you're probably used to living a life of scarcity and being very independent. I think it's very important to note what your Mars is, because that's probably the planet you lean into more. Regardless, whatever sign your Venus is in and Black Moon Lilith are in is going to tell you. Sorry, I was a bit distracted because I'm dog sitting right now and the owners of said dogs were driving by and I had to make sure that things were good. So Venus and Black Moon Lilith conjunct, noting the sign it's in, is going to tell you what makes you feel loved, what qualities you want to embrace in a relationship, and qualities you potentially feel ashamed of. Again, noting the house it's in will tell you what area of life this shows up in the most. If your Black Moon Lilith and Mars are in the same sign or conjunct, this means that you feel a sense of shame or that you're going to be rejected for your masculine energy. Just like how having Black Moon Lilith and Venus is very powerful to have as a conjunction for women, having Black Moon Lilith and Mars conjunct for a man is huge, because basically what this means is that at some point in childhood, you were rejected for stereotypical masculine energy, and whatever sign your Mars is in is going to tell you how you express your masculine energy, what it means to be a masculine provider, strong male energy. For anyone, this does mean that you feel shame for your physical vitality and the way you like to take action. You were probably taught, similar to Mercury and Black Moon Lilith conjunct, that the way you like to move through life and the way you like to take action and work was something to be rejected for. That was not a positive trait. And so now you struggle to take action, struggle to embrace your masculine energy, struggle to do things the way you naturally like to do them. Regardless of the sign it's in, it's important to also know the house, because this tells you where you tend to act this way the most, that you feel shame for. So if your Mars and Black Moon Lilith were in 4th house, it's your family. If it's in your 10th house, it's in your career. There's a way you want to act, a way you want to do things that you struggle to embrace, but this is also a place of power. If your Black Moon Lilith and Jupiter are in the same sign or conjunct, this means that you really struggle with the idea of abundance and expansion. You're probably a very responsible person who leans into their Saturn. You simply put, feel shame for the things that make you feel abundant. Jupiter is the planet of abundance, expansion, spiritual growth. And so when Black Moon Lilith and Jupiter are in the same sign, well, what that means is basically you feel that there's a way that you like to act that makes you feel carefree and light. Jupiter is truly our expansion, but you feel that at some point you're rejected for this carefree energy, who is trusting, faithful, knowing that things are going to work out for them. If you're trying to experiment with the idea of the law of attraction, it's going to be really hard for you with Black Moon Lilith and Jupiter conjunct. You think that everything has to be hard earned. Simply put, I think that having a Black Moon Lilith and Jupiter in the same sign or conjunct puts an emphasis on that you need to embrace your Saturn more, which means doing things from a place of hard work. Hard work is the only way to earn the things you want. And also that abundance is not needed, that you're supposed to live a life of scarcity. On the antithesis, if you have your Black Moon Lilith and Saturn in the same sign or conjunct in your chart, what that's going to mean is that you feel shame for responsibility. You feel like you're naturally wanting to move through life at some point in childhood, very regimented, very goal-oriented, very disciplined, and you're taught that you're working too hard, or you're taught that you shouldn't be so responsible. Maybe you're kind of a parental role, so to say, or you were very self-disciplined and people told you, you should let loose more. And so now this inner parent that you have for yourself that supports you, this strength that you have, is something you feel rejected for. And so you probably tell yourself that you need to not try to work so hard or reach the goals you want or be so disciplined, so to say. If your Black Moon Lilith is conjunct your Neptune, you feel like you have idealisms that were something you were rejected for in childhood, and the sign that your Black Moon Lilith and Neptune are in are going to tell you what those idealisms are that you feel you'll be rejected for. Simply put, you'll feel really that you are too idealistic, even though your idealism is something to embrace. If your Black Moon Lilith and Uranus are conjunct, there's a spontaneity, there's an innovative way of thinking that you want to embrace that you feel you're going to be rejected for. Basically, your higher mind, the way you like to think, the way you like to innovate is something you feel like you're going to be rejected for. And if your Black Moon Lilith and Pluto are conjunct or in the same sign, this means that there is a deep level of healing and transformation that you are ready to embrace, a healing you were meant to do for your family lineage, so to say, that you felt you're going to be rejected for by trying to break free of. I really went through those three really fast intentionally because Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto are, so to say, more minor planets in a birth chart in my own personal interpretation because they move slower. This is more about collective focus. However, they do have an effect when Black Moon Lilith, in a much more personal planet in my interpretation, is conjunct them, and they're very simple to understand. Neptune, you feel shame for idealism, but it's a place of power. Uranus in Black Moon Lilith, you feel shame for your innovation, but it is a place of power. Neptune, Black Moon Lilith and Pluto, you feel shame for the healing that you're ready to do for your whole family line. Past life karma or family trauma, that is something you're ready to heal, but you felt shame or rejection for trying to do so. If your Black Moon Lilith and North Node are conjunct, I love talking about this one because I love talking about the North Node. This means that, excuse me, I suddenly got something stuck in my throat. That was kind of the point is, moving on. If your Black Moon Lilith and North Node are conjunct, what this means is that the zodiac sign you step into for your highest path to growth is something you feel shamed of. I also think in the other reverse interpretation, if we were talking about the North Node having Black Moon Lilith as well, same placement, this does put a focus on healing for your growth. You need to do deep shame healing, deep wound healing, inner child healing in order to step into your highest path to growth. Healing and growth really go hand in hand. You're here to overcome a blockage from childhood to embrace a zodiac sign in its highest expression. Regardless, you feel like to grow is unhealthy. You were probably raised in a family where you're taught to stay in your comfort zone, be the same monotonous person, and that to change is wrong. On the antithesis end, if your Black Moon Lilith and South Node are conjunct, you feel that your natural talents are something to be ashamed of. You feel like you have gifts to embrace, but you feel ashamed of them. I honestly really empathize with people who have Black Moon Lilith and South Node in the same sign because the South Node is already something that's hard for us to overcome, so to say. It can feel like it's like our crutch, so to say. And sometimes crutches can be good when we have broken legs, but when we use them too much, when we don't need them, then they limit us. But when Black Moon Lilith is conjunct the South Node or in the same sign, we're not letting ourselves have anything to lean on. And so the natural talents and gifts you have that can aid you forward in life are something you feel ashamed of, even though they're a place of power. If your Black Moon Lilith and South Node are in the same sign, it's really important that before you even try to embrace your North Node, that you heal your relationship with your South Node and go, these are good qualities for me to embrace. I'm going to embrace them, just not in excess. If your Black Moon Lilith and Chiron are in the same sign, double healing energy. Black Moon Lilith is a healing planet, one that we have to heal our inner child, and Chiron is the wounded healer. And so this means that there are things that you heal in others that you feel extreme shame for and don't heal in yourself. And so even though you try to help people heal this energy, you feel guilt and shame when you try to do so. So now this just becomes an area of your life that you completely try to reject, even though it's a place of your power and something that you can heal in other people. But likely because this is Black Moon Lilith, our shame, and Chiron, a wound in us, we feel it's very hard to tend to our own wound, and it's very important to do so. And as a final bonus, if your Black Moon Lilith and Part of Fortune are in the same sign or conjunct, it means that there is an energy you tap into to manifest all the wealth you want, but you feel shame for doing so. And so simply put, similar to having your Black Moon Lilith in conjunct Jupiter, you feel shame for wealth. You feel that you're supposed to live in scarcity, but this is not the truth. This is actually a place of power, and you're here to inspire people truly to manifest more wealth. I know I sped through those really fast. I always call it my crack addict energy, but I was trying to summarize this really fast because there's so much to cover, and if I missed anything, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What did I miss? What do you interpret that I missed? Let me know in the comments below, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Let me know if I missed any planets, because chances are every time I upload these, I forget something. Let me know what your specific aspect is in your chart and how you interpret that. Is your Black Moon Lilith conjunct your moon? What sign? What house? What planets? Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. As one last quick note, though, that I want to make. Generally, any planet conjunct Black Moon Lilith or in the same sign is going to be powerful, but the more planets you have there with Black Moon Lilith, the more it puts an emphasis on your journey being focused around inner child healing. So this is very important to note if you're trying to look at what your purpose is, if you're trying to look at why you're here, what your journey is, maybe what you're here to offer other people, the more planets you have with Black Moon Lilith, the more your journey is about healing. But regardless, even just having one planet conjunct or in the same sign as Black Moon Lilith shows you what you need to heal to step into your power to inspire others to do so. So keep that in mind as you do your research and as you're learning about Black Moon Lilith. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. If you want to learn more about your specific Black Moon Lilith placement, be sure to book a reading in the link in the description below. Thanks guys, and from my heart to yours, namaste.